by the end of this tutorial, you should be able to use one of our templates in order to create a picture tee, kind of like this one. So you'll be making a t-shirt. The t-shirt has a defined area on it where you can put a logo, and you can scale it up and down and move it around inside of the defined picture tee area. Once you're finished, you'll be able to use this 3D model in AltspaceVR or in any other place where you can put a 3D model. Okay, so first of all, you should have received, you either received from email or downloaded a zip file. After you unpack it, this is what you will see. There is a Blender file in here, and then there's 3 folders, A, B, and C. Folder A has resources in it. The resource is the Simple Bake add-on for Blender. We'll get into that later, but just keep it handy. I'm giving it to you so you don't have to pay for it. Simple Bake is a third-party premium add-on for Blender, and it's for baking. And we'll get into that in the next video. But in this video, we're going to stay focused on using the texture and the GOBs. So the textures that we make in this tutorial will be in here, and also the GOBs that we make in this tutorial will be in here. So this is going to all be packaged up, and when you'll be able to follow along in this video and actually have the resources that were created in this video to go along with the video. So let's get started. So the first thing that we're going to do before we even open up Blender is we're going to prepare our texture, okay? And so what I recommend you do, and I'll just go ahead and do it from scratch. I'm using Photoshop. You can use whatever you use as a graphics editor, okay? But I use Photoshop, and so I'm just going to go new, and I'm going to create a new document that is a square. So we want to make it a complete square. It doesn't have to be 1080 by 1080, but I would not make it any bigger than this because you'll start to get performance decline inside of Altspace or some other online platform because it gets heavier and heavier. So in fact, if you wanted to, you could scale it down. You could make it 512 by 512. And you would increase performance. But I'm going to go 1080 by 1080. And as you can see, that makes a perfect square. The first thing I'm going to do is unlock this layer because I want this layer to be transparent. So we want to make it transparent. And now I'm going to go ahead and add my logo. And so I'm going to add the blue version of this, so the black letters and the blue AI. Okay, so now you can put this wherever you want. I'll put it right here in the center, but putting it inside of a square, what that does is it allows the proportions to be constrained when we bring it into Blender. Okay, because you can't, when you scale, it scales proportionately. Okay, so this is the easiest way, and so just start off with it in a perfect square dimensions, and all will be fine. And you can design inside of this square any way you want. So I'll just go ahead and export. You'll want to make sure you export it as a PNG because otherwise you'll have the background on it. So you'll want it as a transparent PNG. And now I'm just going to put this inside of the folder. So I'm going to put it inside of textures. And I'll just give it a name. Okay, there we have it. So the next thing I'm going to do, so now we're going to go ahead and open up this Blender file. But first, you'll see here's that texture right here that we added. So I'll open this up. Okay, so when you first open this up, you're going to see this shirt, okay? But actually, inside of here, there are 3 different versions of the shirt, okay? So this is a wearable version. You'll notice how I've got the arms shaved off, the shoulders shaved off, because in AltspaceVR, there's no arms. This is another version of the wearable where there's more of a shoulder, okay, but still shaved. And then this is one with the full sleeves. And I use this one for desktop computer because when you go into AltspaceVR with the desktop computer, it has arms straight down. So all of these function the same way. But in this tutorial, we're only going to focus on this shirt. And so once you can get past with this tutorial, then we'll move on to the others. Let's focus on this one. So first of all, we've got this shirt. And you see I've already got a logo on here. Now, you're going to have to pay attention to 3 different things. First of all, this right here is the material properties. And in your material properties, you have these 2 materials now. You've got shirt base color, shirt logo. These materials are actually controlling all the shirts. So for example, if I turn this shirt on, and if I go to shirt base color and go to base color, notice how it changes this one. But also, this one has changed. And also, this one has changed. So all of the shirts are using the same materials. And that's going to make it easy for you to work with all the different shirts. Now, whatever you do to one material as far as color is concerned has to be done to the other material. That way, there's a they're combined. Okay, so like as you can see in this case, we've got the color change for the base color, but the logo area is still white. Now, if I wanted to make this the same color as that, I can use this dopper and I can do it like that. And actually, another way is that I can just come here, grab this hex code, then go here and put this hex code in here. And there we go. Now it's perfect. So that's how you change the color. Now I'm going to make this color back to white. Base color. So now the color is back white. Okay, so in order to change this logo, with shirt logo material selected, the first thing we do is we come over here and we click on our shader editor. Shader editor is going to open up this panel right here with all the different nodes. And you'll notice we have a node right here, this orange one, and it has a file in it. If we drop this by hitting the X, it goes away. We hit open, and now we go in our textures, and I'm going to select the blue AI, and there it goes. If I want to resize it, move it around, I go to UV editor. The first thing we have to do is go into edit mode. And now, make sure we've got this selected. With this selected, come in here, hit your A key. You have to hit the A key, okay? And that, when you click in here and hit the A key, it's going to select all, and you'll see this highlight like that. And now I'll hit S. S is for scaling. You'll see we get that double arrow with that line. And if I drag in, it gets bigger. If I drag out, it gets smaller. So if I want to make this big like that, then I'll hit the enter key, and then I can, it releases from that mode. I can hit the G key, and then I can move it around, put it wherever you want it. And you'll notice how when you go out of view, it just disappears because that's the defined area. If I want to put this on the breast, put it right there, then scale. If you go back into object mode, you can see it. Okay, so once again, if I want to make this big, we go back into edit mode. Okay, we've got this right here. Now, when I'm moving this around, I'm pressing my mouse wheel down to move this around like this. Okay, and then scrolling in and out in order to make it the area larger and smaller. Okay. Remember, hit the A button to select all, S to scale. Okay. Once you're ready to export, you're going to have to bake. Okay. And the way you bake is you come up to this. So first off, you're going to have to install the simple bake. Real easy to install. Just go to preferences. Once you're in preferences, go to add-ons, install add-on, and then go into resources and select this zip file. In order to export, because AltspaceVR does not allow a mesh with multiple textures, we have to bake it all into one. And so you notice how right now we're working on the t-shirt male. And so what we're going to do is we're going to come here under the render properties, and we're going to, so you can see that I've already got t-shirt male in here, but I'm going to remove it just so I can show you how to add it. Because if we were adding whichever one you're going to add, you have to select it first, and then you come here and you click add, and it will add it to this area. And then after that, the only thing you do is scroll down. All of the settings for the baking have already been set for you. You don't have to worry about any of that stuff. You just come down and you hit the bake button. It's going to turn blue until it's finished baking, and then once it's finished, the blue will go away and it'll turn back gray. Once it does that, you'll want to hide this shirt so that it's not in your way, and then go to File, Import, FBX, and you will see that you already have this simple bake folder right here, and it'll tell you the time. Go inside of there, and you'll see this one, and just import FBX, and then it will import that model that you just made, and it'll put it under this simple bakes folder. With it selected, you can just go to File, Export, GLTF 2.0. Okay, this is for exporting a GLB. And I'm just going to go into the GLBs folder, and I'm going to keep this name that. You'll want to make sure, now these settings should remain, but you'll want to make sure that remember export settings is checked, and limit to selected objects is checked. And then you can export GLTF. Now, once you've done that, you can check your model. So first of all, right here, you can see this is the model that we just made. And I'm going to go to GLB Viewer. So if you just Google GLB Viewer, you'll see this GLTF Viewer website. And you can just drag and drop it on there and you'll see it. And this is the shirt we just made. So if you make it through this far, we'll move on to the next video showing how to actually get this into AltspaceVR. Thanks for following along. Ask any questions.